Oh, hey, happy Earth Day. Sorry, happy Earth Month. First day of Earth Month. Happy April Fool. And I've got the funniest reflections in my glasses because I have the ring light right there. I am here for the very first prompt for April Repurposed Art Month. And I'm a little frazzled, so I'm going to be making mistakes and saying the wrong stuff. I hope that you will forgive me. I am trying for the very first time to do everything live every day for Earth Month. It's not going to happen every day just because I know that there are, holidays like Easter, Passover, and there's things going on. So it's going to be impossible to be here live every day, but I'm going to do my best. So here I am for the first day. I don't know if you have been to the website to see everything about the Repurposed Art Challenge, but there's a sheet on there that you can print out with all the prompts, or you can be here on Instagram and I will post a daily prompt. That's my plan. So hopefully you saw the prompt that went out earlier this morning, and the first flower for Earth Month is a daffodil, and I think it's so appropriate. It was between that and forsythia. We'll do forsythia later in the month, but right now all the daffies are coming up in my front yard and I'm so excited about them. I have the mini daffies and they're so adorable. Anyhow, so I am doing this live. I'm also, you can't see it, but I'm recording it. I have my iPad up here recording this so that I can edit it and it will be a better video that I can then post on YouTube, and you can really see what I'm doing, what my hands are doing. I'm going to show my best to the camera right here, but it's also being recorded here, so hopefully I'll be able to share that really, really well later on. Anyhow, okay, so we're going to do daffodils today, and I am, for my substrate, I am using these clear plastic lids. We've been on a yogurt kick lately, and unfortunately, yogurt lids look like this, and they're number 5, and they're not really truly recyclable. So I decided I'm going to collect them and use them for my substrate. Yeah, I haven't gotten into making my own yogurt. Perhaps someday I will, but right now we're buying a good store-bought yogurt. Anyhow, the lids, very appropriate for this. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to put on my glasses because I can't see well enough, so you're just gonna have to deal with the reflection. That's really silly. At least that's how I'm seeing it. So I have pulled out some supplies. I got pins. I want to do sewing, so I got my little thingy for all sorts of needles. I got my thimble standing by. I got really sharp scissors. I got medium sharp scissors. I got craft scissors. I pulled a bunch of threads in yellows and greens. This yellow is a little bit of an orangey yellow, but maybe it'll work. We'll see. And this is, I didn't have any true yellow, so these are all embroidery flosses and pearl cotton variegated threads in the green, and this pale yellow green. It's very pretty. And then the only true daffodil yellow, however you want to call it, is in this cotton machine stitching thread. It's also variegated. So I usually stitch with whatever thread is the right thread for what I'm working on. I don't worry about it not being embroidery floss for embroidery or whatever. I just use whatever I think is appropriate. I also pulled out a whole tray of some materials that I'm not sure that I'll use. Well, I definitely won't use all of them, but I have this. I saved this. We bought a Christmas tree, and usually the Christmas tree has a paper tag, but this time it had a yellow tag. So I think this is what I'm going to use for my daffodil. I also have another plant label from something else, so I may use that. I have a bunch of straws of different colors. I have some green straws that I might use for the stem. if I decide to do the stem. I have some orange straws which will not be appropriate this, but I have these that are yellow and red striped straws, so I might use that. So I'm gonna pull out that. I don't even know where this came from, but I think this is from a fake plant. I may use that. I have a strip cut open from, I think this is a potato bag. And it's kind of a orangey, yellowy mesh on clear plastic material, so I may use that. Yeah, and there's another green thing here, so we'll see. Let's see what I can do. So I am just winging this, and that's usually my MO for small projects. So I'm looking at a daffodil, and it's 6 petals, and then this trumpet-like thing in the middle. So, well, I think these will be really great for the petals. So I need 6 petals. So if I fold them like this, so I'm folding it in half and then into thirds, and that will give me 6 petals. Yes, let's go bold, let's go large. I'm gonna be stitching them down. Last year, or 2 years ago, last time, whenever it was the last time we did flowers, I glued things, and I wasn't happy with how the glue behaved. Okay, so a petal. Yeah, I see the shape of the petal, so I'm just going to cut out the shape of a petal. Let me take a look at it again. It's sort of rounded at the top and wider at the bottom. Okay, I'm just using craft scissors, and I will collect all my little pieces that got cut off later. They will not go to waste. Yes, I'm cutting all 6 petals at a time because that's how I roll. Oh, oops, I messed up one. This didn't fold correctly. Oh well, so my daffodil is going to have 5 petals, and that's okay. So I'm just gonna cut these apart. And see if I need to shape them a little bit. I think they're pretty good. Do I have 5? Yes, I have 5 petals. And yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I have all these little pieces, which I have some that flew away. They'll come in handy for something somewhere. Never throw anything out. I always save something. I always save everything, I should say. Occasionally I do throw things out, but it takes me a long time to let them go enough to throw them out. I don't know. Let me know if you're like that. I keep it all. All right, so these are my daffodil petals. And then I need something for the trumpet part of it. And the trumpet's got a little ruffle in the middle of it. I think, should I fold these petals to give them a little more? I think I want to fold these petals to give them a little more oomph. So, okay. So I'm going to take a stitch, I think, in each of these petals, but I'm going to take that stitch when I stitch them down. Right? That's what I want to do. I want to take a stitch and then stitch them down. So I'm just kind of folding them in half and sort of pressing really hard to make a crease at the bottom of each petal, so it's got a little bit of a crease. And I will make sure that crease is in place when I stitch them down, but for now I'm just making the crease. And I think I want to round out a few of these edges just to make them a little bit smoother and more presentable. I mean, I want this little artwork to look like it was made from repurposed materials, but I want it to also be close to reality, so you will recognize the subject. And if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in. I'm wearing my glasses, so I should be able to see Georgina. Hi! I was just listening to your tarot reading just before I popped on. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it again because I was too distracted by what I was going to do. So hello. So I got my petals cut out and I got them creased at the bottom, and now I have these tiny little slivers of yellow, which I'm going to collect them before they get stuck to something else, and I'm gonna dump them back into this tray here. And so I think that I'm going to make the trumpet from the daffodil from these straws. But I think the first thing I'm going to do is stitch on these petals. Okay, so I'm gonna go with this pale yellow because I feel like it's the one that works the best. I do my colors very intuitively. I know basic color theory and all of that, but I kind of just, I go with feeling when it comes to colors. So I'm just gonna cut a long one. So the good kind of how long you should cut a thread is it should be about a little bit longer than the length of your elbow, or double. Hey Ruby, so that you don't get it too tangled. So let's see, what needle should I use? Oh, this looks good enough. Okay, so I'm actually going to switch my glasses to a pair of stronger glasses because I can't thread my needle in these glasses. That's what happens when you age. This whole aging thing is a you know what. Anyhow, all right, so I'm threading my needle. I like to smooth my thread and tie a knot on the end. And I got my thimble. Anybody use the thimble out there? I actually use my grandmother's thimble. Okay, so I have the petal. I'm going to take a stitch through the bottom of the petal of where it is folded. I'm going to take 2 stitches through the same hole just to keep it nice and tight. And I'm going to make it into a knot so it's not going to go anywhere. And I'm going to sort of arbitrarily, all right, I see where the center is of my lid. I'm going to be a little bit away from the center, and I'm going to stitch the petal down by the 2 sides. So I have my stitch to keep it all together, and now I'm going to open up so that it's nicely shaped. And I'm going to press it that way, and I'm going to stitch that part together. So I'm going to take it, I think about 1/2 inch away from the center. Try to make this as nice as possible, but you know, sometimes I'm going to push it right through this lid. So the good thing about these lids is they're soft enough to push a needle through fairly easily, as long as you are wearing a thimble, because you do need a bit of, be able to give it a nice bit of push. Okay, there. So just 2 stitches per petal, I think, is going to be enough to hold it on. So it's attached, and now I'm going to bring my thread back up, and I'm going to take a stitch through the pressed section of my next petal, and I think, all right, so before I take a second stitch and secure it, I think I need to fold down this part of it. So my idea was to stitch each petal together. Can I do this? I can do this, yes. Okay, so I'm getting it really close, and I'm taking a second stitch to keep the petal all in. And now I'm going to stitch the petal down to the lid. I'm going to overlap it a tiny bit with the petal next to it. I hope that's not a mistake. I'll find out soon enough. Let's see. Pushing up through the bottom. You know, the beauty of these little experiments is I'm really just winging it. And I mean, I do have a lot of experience stitching with this stuff, but I am just kind of winging it because that's how you learn. You play, you see what you like, you see what works, and you learn. And sometimes I have to take an extra stitch and push it through. Okay, so one of the things I learned immediately now is that I need to take a separate stitch on every petal. It's not keeping it as well together. So I'm going to take a stitch through the back here and tie my thread off. So I'm going to take the time. I'm not very good at taking the time. I want to rush through and do the next thing, but patience is needed here. So I'm going to take a stitch through the crease on every one of these petals. I only have 3 left, so not a problem at all. So I take one stitch, and then I take another stitch, and I got a little bit tangled here. There we go. And then I'm just going to go through here and make a knot. Like that. And then I'm going to trim it off and do my other 2 petals. So another one little stitch, 2 little stitch, and a tie off. Okay, and 1 more petal to go. Okay. All right, so now just gonna take a knot through here, tie it off. Okay, so now I have 3 petals that have already been attached. Sorry, 2 petals that have already been attached, and I have 3 more petals to attach. So I think, first thing I need to do is I need to fold this back. So I have it stitched in the middle, but I need to sort of crease and fold so they get I get nice texture out of them. So this piece of plastic is nice and soft and pliable, but rather strong, which is probably why it needed to be used on a tree. Although I don't really know. I don't know why it needed to be used on a tree. Okay, so if I lay this out like this, I'm gonna overlap that little guy a little bit. That should be fine. So I'm gonna take a stitch through the bottom. And now I don't have to stop at every petal. I can just stitch all the last 3 petals in place. And I may take a couple of extra stitches here and there just to secure things. Okay, so petal number 3 is attached. Okay, now another petal. It's a good thing the plastic lid is clear so I can easily see where I'm trying to go. With a thicker, not such a clear plastic lid, these are a little more difficult to do, but totally doable as well. You sort of see it poking through as it goes in. Okay. and one more petal. Right here. This is going to be a big daffodil. I wasn't sure how big I was going to go. And this is actually, I kind of wasn't thinking I was going to go 3D. I thought I would do a flatter rendition of the daffodil, but here it is. It's pretty 3D, and that's okay. That's what my muse called for. That's what I'm doing. All good. Okay. So there are my petals all stitched on. They're a little wonky, but nothing in nature is perfect, right? So I'm kind of looking through, do I need to take another stitch to just kind of spread them out? I think I do. I'm going to just take a couple of more stitches to make sure that they are not wonky or have a chance of falling off. That's my main thing with anything I do, is I want to make sure that it has structural integrity. Yes, so a few more stitches will ensure of that. Okay, and another one through here. There we go. All right, I think I need one more here. You know, yeah, this plastic is pretty indestructible, and it's gonna outlast us all as long as we keep it indoors. If we put it outside, that's where it's gonna get. It's still gonna outlast us all, just in much, much smaller pieces. Okay, I'm just gonna knot this off at the back. And there I have, there are my 5 daffodil petals. So now, I was thinking that I would make the trumpet inside the daffodil from these straws. I really don't have anything else that's yellow. Well, actually, I do have the remnants, the pieces that I cut off from the inside of this. Should I just do that? Maybe that's what I should do. I'm changing things on the fly. Hey, Dave. So maybe I will change things on the fly. I do have a few of these pieces. Maybe I'll use these pieces and some straws. I don't know, let's see. I have these 2 matching ones. They're all like kind of, except for those 2 pieces, for these 2 roundy pieces, these are all kind of triangular. I'm not sure how they would work. I think I need to, there may not be the right size. So let's see, maybe back to my straw idea. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll be a white with red. Yes, that's what I'll do. All right, I'm going back to my straw idea. I think that will be a good one. So I am going to cut this into smaller portions and then split them apart. So I'm looking at my daffodil, and I think I want the trumpet to be about yay high, so sort of like 1.5 inches. I'm totally winging it. All right, so I'm gonna cut the straw into pieces that are about 1.5 inches. And I think just 1 straw should be enough for the trumpet. I may even have a few extra parts. Let's see. I have 1 piece, it's gonna be a little long. All right, so I'm gonna put that little long piece to the side. And I'm going to split each of these straws. I'm just gonna put my scissors inside and cut it open like this. And I'm gonna going to do that to all. I'm going to let them roll away. All right, so I have 4 pieces. Oh, here's one that I haven't cut yet. All right, 4 pieces, and that's a 5th one. So let's see. If I unroll this, I think to make it trumpet-like, I need to split part of it and curl that the other way, because the trumpet sort of goes out and then it curls a little bit. So I'm going to split these. I'm gonna cut them a little more than halfway through. So I cut this little straw sort of like this, and then I have 4 little unmatched pieces, and I'm gonna roll them and see what happens. I'm just going to bend them backwards and roll them in on themselves and see what happens. No, I have never made a daffodil like this before. I am just totally winging it because that's what experimenting is about. It's fun. It's fun making materials that were meant for something else and then meant for the trash heap to transform them into something else, to test their abilities, to see what they can become. So I'm rolling these back. This takes a little finagling. They kind of don't want to be rolled back, but once you get them started, they do manage to roll back somewhat. Okay, so there. All right, I think this could work. So now I just have to do this to the other pieces that I have cut. So I need to cut them and roll them back, and then I will stitch them down. Okay, that's the plan. I know what I'm doing, sort of. Sort of. Okay, so now I'm splitting this one. So I'm gonna do 4, a little bit more than halfway. Okay, now I gotta roll this one back. So a little bit tedious, but not too bad. Hey, I'm only making 1. If I was making 100, then it would really be tedious, right? So, but anyhow, feel free to ask any questions about anything having to do with this project or any other project. I'm open to it all. But yeah, so today is day 1 of the Earth Month repurposing project. And it's Earth Month because Earth Day is in April. April 22nd is actual Earth Day. But make it Earth Month. Make every day counts. 30 days in April. I got 30 prompts for you to make a little artwork. You can follow along with me and follow with my prompts. Use them as your starting point, or just do your own thing. That's totally fine too. This one doesn't want to roll. Roll, 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 roll. This one is unrolling. Okay, not bad. This red one, maybe I just need to be more forceful with it. Okay, not bad. Not bad. I can be forceful with my plastic straws. That's what I gotta do. That's what I gotta do. All right, 2 more to go. And then I'm gonna start stitching them down. 2, 3 cuts. So I have 4 stamens. I unfortunately don't remember much of my botany, I guess it would be. And all my names of flower anatomy, I don't know them. So if I call something by the wrong name, feel free to correct me. I will not take offense. I honestly don't know. Don't worry about it. Dave, oh, you can't watch a lot today. Totally understandable. You can always come back and watch the recording of this later. Yes, I'd love to meet you too and talk about repurposed materials. Oh, really? Your studio used to be in Port Chester. Oh, cool. Yeah, well, we're having open studios here in May, Mother's Day weekend, May 8th and 9th, open studios in the entire building, so you should come by. It would be great to see you. So I've been so busy sharing about Earth Month and Repurposed Collective that I really haven't had a chance to share much about the fact that we're having open studios that I'm participating in. But yeah, it's happening May 8th and 9th, Friday and Saturday. The whole building is going to be open studios. We have 27 artists participating. And that's artists who have their physical studios here and artists who are doing pop-ups just for that weekend. So it's going to be really great. Okay, I'm on the last one. So cutting my little stamens, I think, and then curling them. And then I'll stitch them on and I'll be done with my daffodil for day 1 of the Earth Month Repurposed Art Challenge. Yeah, I love doing this. This is my 4th year doing it. Feels like it may have been a 5th year. I think the first year I did it, I kind of just did it myself and just shared what I was doing. And then eventually I started inviting others to join with me. So the following year, I actually made a page on my website. I think I did, or maybe did I just do it on Instagram? I can't remember now. But I started inviting others to participate with me. And I took videos of how I made things and shared the videos on YouTube. Did you know that I have a YouTube channel? I do. There's a lot of material on there, including free workshops that you can see and participate in, or just watch and learn, however you like to learn. But yeah, it's Art by Natalya on YouTube. Okay, so I got my stamens. I think I'm going to continue with this yellowish thread. I still have enough. Oh, I already tied a knot at the end. Okay, so now I got to figure out how to stitch these little guys on as they are curling in on themselves. I think I'm just gonna wing it. So I'm gonna put them in the middle. I'm gonna try to stitch them open. Okay, I'm gonna just take a stitch right through here and let the knot be on the other end. And then I'm going to stitch right through the lid. And just see what happens. That's what I'm gonna do. Come back up. And take another stitch through the stamen. That's what I'm calling it. Is it a stamen or is it a pistil? I don't know. Am I even saying it correctly? I don't know. Okay. This may take a few stitches to make sure that it stays upright like I want it to. It may not want to behave, but I shall make it behave. Okay. It's curling up on itself and it's flopping to the side a little bit, but I think that a few more stitches should should be able to get it to behave. Like I said, it's an experiment for me as well. Never done this flower before. Oh, look at that. It is standing up. It's doable. It's standable. All right. I'm going to take the next one. All right, first I'm going to push my needle up through here. And I'm going to push my needle through the bottom of this. And yeah, we're just going to go. We're just going to go and see what happens. Because that's how I go. I just see what happens and hope for the best with my art experiments. It's a good way to learn. And I stand by it. I'm getting a little tangled, but that's okay. All right. So this may not work out to be a single trumpet in the middle of my daffodil. I don't know if I'll be able to achieve exactly that, but we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll stitch the trumpets together into one. Maybe I should have done that before I started stitching them down. But like I said, this is an experiment, and when we experiment, we learn from our mistakes and we figure stuff out. All right, now I'm gonna go for the third one, pushing it through. I think it looks pretty good already. It's an exotic plastic daffodil, right? That's what it is. Why am I all of a sudden speaking with an accent? I don't know. Because it's fun. And no, I don't always talk to myself as I'm creating art. But here I am talking to you, whether you're here or not. But I do talk to myself. I think most people do, right? When I'm making art or doing whatever, I definitely talk to myself. Especially when no one else will listen. Hey there, don't plasticipate. That's a great name. Hi, what do you do? Do you work with plastic as well? I'd love to know. Did you hear about the Earth Month challenge that I am working on here? I am stitching a daffodil for prompt for day 1 out of plastic straws and something that, oh, that was a tag for my Christmas tree. Oh, you left. Okay. Okay, maybe you'll be back. Okay, my petals are doing, my stamens, whatever they are, seem to be doing good. They're standing up pretty well. I don't know, do I want to stitch on another one? Does it need a fourth one? I think 3 is enough. I'll save this for something else. I'm sure it'll come in handy. And the other piece of the straw. There they are. There are my stamens. Okay, I'm going to tie this off on the back. I take a stitch through some of my other stitches and just tie a knot off. And there we go. I think I'm done. I have the daffodil made out of plastic. My first little art project for day 1 of the Earth Month Repurposed Art Challenge, made out of a plastic Christmas tree hang tag and straws. I I think these might be McDonald's straws. I'm not 100% sure. I try to avoid it at all costs. But there it is. My daffodil, somewhat lifelike, but not really. Thanks for joining me here for Earth Month, first day, April 1st. There's the daffodil. I cannot wait to see the daffodil that you make today, or whatever you do make today. I can't wait to see it. Please share it with me. Tag me so I know to look for it. Thank you, or message me, whatever works, but I'd love to see it. Please share it with me, and thanks for being here today. See you later.